In this video, I'm going to show you how to add your blog to your website so that your users can start navigating through your blog posts. So what we're going to do is navigate over to our website over here on the top left-hand side. And then I'm going to create a new page dedicated to my blog. So I'm going to come here to my page management, and I'm going to add a new page, and I'm going to call this blog. And again, my title is also going to be blog. I'm going to make sure that this page is published, and I'm going to hit save. So now I'm just going to move that above my account page, save those changes again, and I'm going to click on blog. So now I can start building out the front-facing section of my blog. So this is the part of my blog that my users are going to be able to view and access through my website. So I want to add a new page template, and I'm going to keep it blank for now. I'm just going to show you how to add the blog module to your website. So we're just going to keep it blank, and I'm going to add a new blog. And again, I'm just going to use an empty block. I'm going to delete one of these columns by right-clicking and hitting delete. And then in this column, I'm going to add a new module. So what I'm going to do is search for my blog module. So I'm just going to type that in the search bar. You'll see here I've got blog comments, blog content, blog header, and blog posts. So I want to select my blog posts. And you'll see that that is then going to add all of my delightful cat blog posts to my page over here. And there are a number of things that we can do to customize the way our blog page looks. So if we come here to our settings, which are currently over here on the right-hand side, you can see that there's a number of things we can do. We can display particular categories. So we can say only the cat toys blog posts should be visible here. Or you can say only the cat relations posts should be here. Or only the cat food category should be here. So you can select which categories you want to be visible to your audience. You can also choose the page size. So this is how many blog posts are going to be visible on the page. So if I say that I only want 3 posts at a time to be visible and they're going to have to click through these arrows to view the rest, you can do that. Or if you would like only 6 posts to be available and for them to click through, you can also do that. Now I should have changed up the images a little bit so that I could show you a little bit more about how the next setting works, but it's all right, we're going to work with it. So the next setting, you'll see we have columns, and right now it's set to 3 columns, but you can change this to 1 column, so you have to scroll through all of your blog posts like that. You can change it to 2 columns, and you can change it to 4 columns as well as 3. So you can choose how you would like your blog posts to be displayed in terms of their columns. I'm going to leave it as 3. The next thing you'll see is we have masonry or grid. So masonry setting, if you have posts with different styles, so different formats of pictures, I can't remember the words here, but if you have vertical and horizontal pictures, then it's going to look patchworked together. And you can see it a little bit here where I've got this post that has the text underneath, and that's sort of pushing the rest of these posts into a sort of ladder. So that's the masonry layout. Or you can have it set to a grid layout, which is going to even everything out and make sure that everything is nice and neat. So for right now, I'm going to leave that as a grid layout. You can then change the gap, so how much space is between these posts. So you can go ahead and make it 50 pixels, you can make it 0, and you can play around with that and do what feels good. I'm going to leave it at 20 because it looks good as is. You can then also change the style of your posts. So if I come here to my post and I edit the style, I can change the color of my background. I can go ahead and change the border. I can make it a lot thicker or thinner. I can remove it entirely. You can also go ahead and change the post info. So what text type it's going to have. Well, what font, I mean, not text type. And you can go ahead and change the settings and formatting of the text there as well. You can change the settings and formatting of the titles, and you can change the settings and formatting for the excerpts as well. You can also change the read more button. I'm reading edit instead of read more. So my brain switched a bit there. But if I click on edit there, you can go ahead and change the way that read more button looks. So you can align it to the center. You can change the size of the button. You can make it rounded or do whatever you want there. You can create a margin for it as well. You can edit the border for it. So you can give it a completely different color and a different size. And you can go ahead and change the background for it as well. I'm going to leave it alone because I'm making something that's quite ugly over here. And you can also give it a shadow. So you can completely customize the way the blog posts look. All right, and then the last things you can change here are the size. So you can change how big you want these blog posts to appear. Currently it is set to fill parent, so it is filling the size of the column which is holding it. Or you can make it a fixed size, and you can see that that's set to 100 pixels, so it doesn't look very good. So I'm going to change it back to fill parent. It is just simpler that way. You can also change the max width if you want, so you can change how much space on the page it takes up. That was a difficult sentence to say. You can also change the spacing. So here you've got your margin settings. So you can go ahead and add some margin to your posts as well. I'm going to remove that though as well. You can also add animation and adjust the visibility. Now that is not all that we can do. I know that's quite a lot that you can do here, but there is more that we can do. So I'm going to go ahead and publish those changes. I'm going to go ahead and publish those changes. That sentence just didn't come out either. I'm going to say preview, and I'm going to click into one of my posts. So I'm going to go with, does my cat hate me? This one doesn't have any content. So I'm actually going to come back to my blog and I'm going to click on cats and water. All right, this one has some content. So now I want to click out of preview mode, and there are a number of things that I can do here. So I can click on my blog header and I can change the way that this looks. So right now my heading is set to be above the image, but I can choose that to be below the image. I can choose that to be over the image, and I can change the settings for my image. So if I want my text to be over my image, I might want to come here to my image and give it an overlay. So I'll simply add an overlay there. That looks pretty good. And then you'll see that my heading is there over my image instead of below it. I can also change the size of this image. So currently it is set to quite a large size, but I could change that to 800. And then that's a much smaller size for my image. And you can also change the size settings over here. You can change the spacing, the animation, all of that. So all of these settings that we have for the different items, you can change. You can also go into your posts here, and you can change the way that your blog content appears. Now, it's important to note that you cannot change your blog content here. You would need to update the blog content within the blog post in the blog settings of the system. Anything you do to this page is actually going to affect the way the rest of your blog posts appear. So before I move on and show you that, I'm going to come here to this little sidebar that we have, and I'm going to add a few items here. So there might be a couple things that you want to add to a sidebar that you have visible in all of your posts. So you might want to have an opt-in form, you might want to have an ad that you're running. So there's a couple things that you might want to add to a sidebar and have them visible in every blog post. So I'm going to click add in this sidebar, and what I'm going to do is add a form. I'm going to search for an opt-in form, and I'm going to add that. And I also want to add a video perhaps, and I want to add, let's say I want to add just an image, and there you go. So I can add a few things to this sidebar, and that sidebar is going to be visible on all of my blog posts. So now that I've made those changes, I've got my sidebar, I've made the changes to my header, and if I wanted to change the way that my blog content showed up on my page, I could do that, but I'm just going to publish these few changes. I'm going to hit publish, and then I'm going to go into preview mode. So I'm going to hit the eye over here. I'm going to come back to my blog, and the one I updated was cats and water. But if I come here to are toys good for cats, you'll see that those same settings have been applied. So these same header settings have been applied to my header image over here, and I have that same sidebar that's appearing, but my blog post content is different because this is the unique content for this particular blog post. So that is how you can customize the way your blogs look and appear to your users. I know I created something that was quite ugly, but you can go ahead and play around with all of the settings and create something that you are very proud of. So that's everything you need to know about creating the front-facing portion of your blog for your users. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to manage and moderate your blog post comments and engagement. I'll see you there.